Hey, how's it going everybody? Brenton Briggs here, back at it, you guys again, doing a pellet stove part replacement video. And today, we are in the field. So, what are we working on today?
Well friends, we're going to be working today on this Heatilator CAB50 pellet stove. We're going to show you how to change the convection room air fan. Let's go to work! Okay friends, please take a moment and like, share, subscribe, and help Briggs and I build this channel. Okay, these are the tools that you will need today. You could use a standard impact with an adapter or a regular ratchet with a 10mm socket. And here is the new fan that Briggs will be installing. Okay everyone, safety, safety, safety first. Unplug, and unplug this stove prior to doing any work on your pellet stove. If you do feel uncomfortable doing it, call your local service provider.
Okay, so first off, we're gonna go on the left side of the stove and we're gonna remove this panel right back here.
Okay, I'm going around the obstacles. Here I come, here I come, here I come. Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
So back here, you're gonna have 3 bolts. They may be a little harder to see. Are you able to see that back there?
Not really, but there'll be 3.
Yep. So you'll have 3 bolts. You're gonna have the top one, middle one, and bottom. So we're gonna go back here and we're gonna loosen these. And sometimes you might not have a lot of space back here, so just be wary of that.
If you don't, you could just use the old-fashioned ratchet with the socket, 10mm.
Yep, 10mm. And so that is just sitting on there. We're gonna take this off. We're gonna put this over here. And we're gonna come down here and we're gonna locate your fan. So your fan is gonna be right here and ready for the next step. So next off, we're gonna locate the 2 wires of the fans and we're going to remove the connections. And they can be a little bit stiff. Well, once you're able to break them free, you're gonna set this to the side over here. You're then gonna locate a wing nut and we're gonna loosen that.
I can't see it. Show where the wing nut is. Can you point to it?
So the wing nut is right here. Can you be able to see that?
Yep.
So you're gonna locate this wing nut and we're gonna loosen this. Now, the older models of stoves, they may not have a wing nut, and instead they may have bolts that you need to tackle. But with just a little bit of elbow grease, this one's actually pretty tight. We're going to loosen that. Ooh, I tell you, this one's a tight one. They're not usually that tight, folks, but sometimes a little bit of elbow grease is necessary. We're gonna remove that, put that to the side. We're gonna take this bracket up just a little bit. And we're able to take out the fan. And there you guys go, your old one's removed. All right, so right here, you're gonna grab your new fan. Here's your old one for reference. And we're gonna show you kind of a little bit of the unboxing of it. So your new fan's gonna come just as so. May differentiate a little bit, but generally they're shipped out about the same. Remove these guys out of the way, and we're gonna put the new fan right next to the old one. Now, I like doing this to make sure all the brackets are aligned in the same way. Sometimes when these are shipped, they can be a little bit different than what is on your stove. The other thing I want to do for the next part is, you guys remember that little bracket we lifted up right here? So this part is just setting just nicely inside on top of these rubber grommets. And over here, you can see on the new one, it doesn't have that plate. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to this guy, we're gonna lift up, we're gonna take that out, and we're gonna take your new fan, and we're going to replace it on in there and have it set nicely on those new grommets. So while you're in here, just for a little added bonus, you can get in here with just any old paintbrush or any brush, kind of help get this dust out of the way, as so. And you can clean it up with a vacuum if need be, or a dustpan. And you know, just for a little extra touch, I'm gonna come back from that plate I put on the new fan, just brush it up, gussy it up a little bit up, so we have a nice, fresher start to it. So let's put your new fan in, but I'm gonna point out two very important things here so to help lessen any frustrations in doing this. So this is a very straightforward thing, but there's two things you need to keep in mind. You wanna make sure you know where this hole is, and you wanna make sure where this hole is. This one right here.
I can't see that one.
Can you see that one better now?
I'll have to tweak it a little bit. Where's that first hole?
So the first hole for the wing nut is gonna be right here on the floor.
Okay.
The second one for the plate bracket is gonna be right here.
Okay.
So you wanna keep those two holes in mind when putting this in, because if you don't line them up, you're not gonna get the wing nut in, and the fan is gonna be just enough out of place where you're not gonna easily have a nice install. So this will take a little bit of a feel right here, as you can see. Gently kind of maneuver it a bit. Take a little bit of patience. I'm gonna go over here and sand it. You can see kind of how everything's kind of a little bit tight fits. But a little bit of patience, right there we got it in. You may need to adjust your sanding so you can see. And once everything is peachy king, we're then gonna put this wing nut back in place. And for this one, it's gonna be a little bit tight. That's okay. Just with a little bit of elbow grease, we will get it in. And so when doing repairs in these stoves, for this model, you'll have a lot of room to work with, which is nice compared to a few other stoves. But even though if you do have a lot of this room in here, just keep in mind where you're moving your arms, where you're moving your hands and everything, because you can see all the other wires that are in here, especially this control board. And if you aren't careful, you may bump something, which can knock it out of place, and you might have some more problems down the line. So once we actually have your fan secure, don't forget this part. We want to connect the wires together.
Now, does it matter which wire goes to one? Are they the same, or white, black, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter in this case, thankfully. So if you're worried about that, no, you are all good. One thing you do want to do when you're doing this is when you connect these wires together, these male and female wires, you want to make sure that connection is secure. And what I mean by that is, you see that male end right there? You see that, Dad?
Yeah.
So that male end.
That's really good.
That male end, you want to make sure it goes right in the middle there. That may seem pretty straightforward, but if you don't pay attention, that male end can go a little bit above upwards from the middle or below. If that happens, you may not have a true connection, and your parts may work intermittently or not at all. So once we have it all set back right there, make sure your wires are kind of tucked away from any moving parts or hot areas. Your new convection fan is in, and then last thing you need to do is just put the panel back on, you're good. Right over here, we're gonna bring you guys back. My dad wanted to say a few things.
I'll tell you, this is fantastic. Look how nice and new this is. Watch this spin. Oh my goodness, goes that way. It's gonna go that way because the air is gonna go up there. It's gonna go up here. It's gonna blow out. You're gonna have warm air out into your house. This is great. You know, I like working on a CAB50 because you can see through it. You can almost throw a football through it. You can do anything. This is so easy. I tell you, these two wires right here, doesn't matter which one you hook up to one another, as long as you got a good tight connection, you got the fan in, and you did a great job, Briggs, and we appreciate all of you. Okay, one added bonus today. Now, this is the other side of the convection fan that Briggs put in. Watch it spin. Isn't that nice? Real nice. I tell you what, when you start the stove up, you get this big old flame. And as it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, this sensor right here, two purple wires, as soon as this surface gets hot, this snap disc will go snap, there'll be continuity, and it'll make this fan go. Now, if you got your stove going for a long time and this fan isn't going and there's no air coming out the front of it, then most likely you have a bad snap disc here that needs to be replaced. So anyway, that's kind of a bonus for the day for the CAB50 Heatilator. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.
And there you have it, guys. Thank you for joining us out in the field. You guys just saw how we put this convection fan in, and a little difference of what we normally do in the shop. You can kind of see the differences of what kind of goes on. Instead of having the stove up on the lift where we're easily able to access everything, this one is kind of showing more of a realistic approach where we're either really down low, we have some tight clearances. It may not always be plug and play of what they always say in, well, directions and stuff, right?
Exactly. You know, this really went smoothly today on this Heatilator Cab50. This is a wonderful stove. A lot of people have them. They're pretty easy to work on. The parts are affordable. And, you know, just another day in the field. It's really, really cold today. I got my cap on because I don't have much hair anymore, but oh well. But hey, we appreciate all of you. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.